ugly smile.
They did what they said they were going to do.
Welcome to the Wholesome Music Podcast.
Yes.
The DIY podcast about DIY music.
Yes.
Speaking of DIY, we did have a couple of audio issues.
Yes, we did.
And what did you say about it?
Okay, so we talked about being in the studio.
Yeah.
The most common thing to break in the studio is always the cable, right?
Yeah.
So the cable was broken. We had a little connection issues, but we're gonna power through and make it. Oh my God, what if it didn't work?
Always that cable.
No.
It's like it's just what's gonna happen when you're in the studio. It's always XLRs are XLRs.
XLRs, cables are always the first thing to go, and if you can eliminate that problem, we can make it better.
So when you're watching this, if it sounds a little weird, don't think to yourself, it sounds a little weird. Think to yourself how nice of a job Cameron did. Cameron is like the celebrity dentist of audio.
I really am.
It's gonna
Let me just fix this up really quick. Okay, hold on. Let me pull it. We could even make it better if we added these. A little RX here, a little noise suppression.
A little isotope. Because we have there's a AC running, there's background noise. We're giving you all
We're doing all the things.
Yeah. We're giving you a little, what do they say? It's a little look at how the sausage is made.
Yeah. Cutting it up, putting the little links around it.
Speaking of sausage, my name is Augustus Watkins. I am a songwriter, musician. I'm a podcaster, apparently.
Yes.
I have a record label called Give Take, and I do traditional music PR as Cocaine Opera. My pronouns are he, she, or they.
My name is Cam LJ. You're here with us at Secret Spot DTLA. We are downtown Los Angeles' co-working space for creative professionals. My pronouns are he, they, she, or anything that you really want to call me. So,
Did you see how fucking professional that was? Just rattled it off.
Just going.
Welcome to episode 10.
Episode number 10. We did it.
Oh, what are we going to talk about? Should we say what we're going to talk about?
Yeah, I think we should tell you.
We're going to talk about fair use. There's some drama right now on YouTube.
Yes.
I thought I was so self-congratulatory. I was like, we did it.
We got
we did not. All right, we're going to talk about fair use. There's some drama going around on big YouTubers like Anthony Fantano, Adam Neely, Rick Beato. We're going to get into that a little bit. We're going to talk about music attorneys.
Yes.
How music attorneys can really change your career.
Change your life, connect you to the people you need, and keep you safe.
We're going to talk about recoupment and royalties.
Yes.
The kind of what they don't tell you about a major label contract. We're going to do some.
Stay tuned for that, because we get deep into that. That's a good one.
We have a math skit.
We do. We really do. we get the napkins out, the whole deal.
And then we're going to talk about this is like typical wholesome music podcast fodder. The music industry is splitting in two.
Yes, the bifurcation of the music industry.
Specifically about how it pertains to songwriters. And then we're going to shout out about one record label who's doing something really unique to fight back against that.
Is it Give Take?
No, it's actually not. We can't do anything about that. We don't run in those. We just don't really run in those circles.
We just can't yet.
No, it's like a big player.
Hashtag up next.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to stay tuned to find out who is doing what I am unable to do.
Yes.
All right, let's see you in a minute.
We'll get into it.
Fair use.
Yes.
There's some drama right now about fair use.
There is a lot of drama about fair use right now. So when we talk about fair use, I wanted to kind of have this discussion, and I think it's a good jumping off point for us to talk about content ID. For us to talk about first of all, tell me what fair use is.
So fair use in general, so this is what I kind of prepped. Fair use is a copyright law.
Yes, it is.
That says that, let's just read this here.
Yes.
There's 4 components to fair use. This is from copyright.wp Music Library, and I don't know, couple of organizations that we'll put links to.
Yes.
The purpose and character of fair use is including whether it is an intended for commercial or non-profit education use. So these are the 4 things that determine whether something is fair use or not. Largely, it means you're allowed to use somebody's copyrighted material in certain ways, usually education.
If you're doing something that's educational, if you're doing something that's satirical, if you're doing something that's news related, like recording, then you're able to use these, like, say, for like when we're talking about copyrighted material for musicians, we're mostly talking about songs.
Right.
So like if I'm making a video about, say, Sabrina Carpenter's new song, and I want to analyze the lyrics.
Yeah.
Generally, I could play a clip of Sabrina Carpenter's new song.
Under fair use.
And if I'm describing the song and what I'm doing is transformative.
Yeah.
Like, versus if I were to just upload the song and be like, YouTube thumbnail, Sabrina Carpenter's song.
Right. That's not fair use.
That's not fair.
So here's the 4 kind of cases that outline. The thing about fair use is, unlike a lot of things, there is no, like, I think there's a misconception that there's like, you can use 10 seconds of something in its video. There's nothing like that. It really truly is a case by case by case by case basis.
Is your work transformative?
1, the purpose and the character of the use, including whether it is intended for commercial or nonprofit educational use. This provision permits certain duplication of library materials for the purpose of scholarship, research, and teaching in all areas of music study. 2, the nature of the copyrighted work, whether a work is published or unpublished, factual or creative. In general, unpublished and creative works have been given more protection by the courts than published and factual ones. So this is like a song. Versus like a report, like a scholarly report. 3, the amount and substantiality of the portion to be copied as it relates to the work as a whole. So this is where people kind of get this idea of how long can it be. Basically what they mean is like, how much of it are you actually using? Is it a couple blurbs, or are you just kind of lifting the whole thing?
Exactly.
4, the effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. Criteria used to determine adverse market effect, including accessibility of the work, the date of its creation, economic life of the work, price, and evidence of abandonment. So basically this is like transformative is the word. Basically, like, if I'm using it in a way that's sort of like, that doesn't like stop you from going and engaging with it on your own. But if it's like, if I'm just sort of like taking your work and then making it so people, you're not going to get access, or you're not getting the eyeballs on it, and I'm getting eyeballs on your work instead. That would be not fair use.
That is not fair use. Exactly. Like, if I were to say upload one of your songs, something that you released through Give Take, and I was like, hey, I'm just going to post this on the Student Music Artist Laboratory's YouTube. That would not be fair use, because...
And we will find you.
You will find me. There's content ID for that. And specifically, the reason I think, like, you can tell right away that that's not fair use is because if someone could come to my video or to my page and get the same value that they would get going to listen to your song on your page or on Spotify or wherever it's legally hosted, then it's not fair use. But we get this issue when we're talking about like reviewing music. Right? So like music reviewers like Anthony Fantano are running into this, and it's really kind of a problem across all of YouTube. It's become a huge problem because, like you said, there isn't like, oh, if you use less than 10 seconds, you're good. Oh, if you use less than 2 seconds, you're good. Right now you're hearing YouTubers talk about like, oh, my song is, or my 2-hour video essay is getting pulled down because I have 2 seconds of a Taylor Swift song. And clearly, like, maybe I'm making a comparison. I'm saying Taylor Swift selling more records than ever, and to kind of emphasize that, I just play like a quick clip of like Red or any Taylor Swift song. And then what's happening is like labels in particular are copyright claiming the songs. So then they're taking all of the YouTube monetization, because YouTube, you have AdSense and then you have sponsors. So they're not obviously going to take anything you get from your sponsor, but all of your ad revenue is then going to whoever the rights holder is. So and right now there isn't like it's like YouTube can't participate in this. They can't say, hey, your video is fair use. Because
nobody can.
Only the rights holder. Only, if I stole your song, only you could say, actually, it's fair use, bro.
Or the courts. There's no like, there is no, it's not like, for instance, like compulsory license for a cover song, where it's like you are compelled to let other people cover your song. This is like, it's as soon as you do it, it's instantly a gray area. Like instantly. And so who's the big, is it UMG is almost always the big
UMG, it's all of the major labels, like Warner, UMG, I think like obviously Sony, all of these.
So all the majors are doing this right now. And so
why would you not? Like, why would you? First of all, like, let's be fair for the big labels. Like, this is a lot of money you're potentially taking in. So
they're gonna get the money instead of the creator. Because the way I had always experienced it in the past was that now, like, if you have a piece of content that has a copyright strike or a fair use warning, it's demonetized.
No, so it's demonetized to you.
Oh,
that money is still collected and goes to the rights holder.
Okay, so what if you have a song off of UMG and a song off of Warner?
Then it'll split.
Then they split that,
assuming both of them make copyright claims.
Yeah.
So if you have like 2 songs from different labels or different rights
that you were like comparing, okay,
they can both take your revenue and split it 50-50.
And they take your whole ass revenue.
Absolutely, everything, all of the AdSense that's made from your video,
for the Google the platform revenue.
Yeah.
Dang.
And so for like a content creator who's like, say, doing video essays, or like Anthony Fantano is a really big example right now, along with Rick Beato, people who are providing like education. Hey, let's break down this pop song and find out like what's going on in the chorus, what's going on in the verse. It's really difficult. Or doing music reviews. It's difficult to release that kind of content without playing the song.
Yeah, so I fuck with Rick, and it seems like he's really transitioned from doing these what makes this song good things to doing these interviews. And I gather that was largely because
you put like 18-20 hours into a video, you start to see it get like for Rick, maybe you see it like 400,000 views. And at 450,000 views, day 2, you get a copyright strike. So you literally take it down, lose your 400 views, clip out the audio, and then re-upload again. Maybe you get to 250 views, copyright claim happens again.
Wow.
You have to do it again.
Wow.
And you still lose the money. So there isn't like a workaround there.
And right now there's like, does YouTube have a process, or?
YouTube is not allowed to have a process. So one thing that makes this so interesting on YouTube in specific is YouTube can't claim something as fair use or not fair use.
Right.
They're kind of like, you know how like if you upload something to Facebook is not responsible for your content.
Oh, this is that section 508 or 508, 503?
230.
230.
Section 230.
Okay.
Yes. So if YouTube then says, "Oh yeah, no, for sure, I evaluated it and it's fair use," now they're liable.
Right.
So they have nothing to do with it. You can reach out to your YouTube support team if you're a big enough channel that you have that, and they'll just say, "Yeah, you got to go take that up with the copyright claim."
Yeah.
Like with the claimant, and so that's a bummer. That's gonna like impact music production, like video, like music commentary, into the future.
So right now, where does this stand right now? We're just
right now it fucked. Stands in like, hey, maybe don't add copyrighted music to your video. Anything that could have content ID on it, because at least for the content ID section, and this is notable to be separated, content ID is YouTube's proprietary way of identifying music. So if you've uploaded something, released it through Spotify, through any DSP, or directly on YouTube, it'll content ID your song. If that exact audio gets re-uploaded somewhere, it will automatically find that for you.
Are people getting around this by doing like swapping the stereo channels and slightly speeding it up and slightly slowing it down?
You used to be able to see that on YouTube where you'd watch like an old movie or something. And it'd be just like stretched out, or
or they'd put it like frame it inside
in the corner. I remember that.
So that's not happening anymore.
It's not really, like you're not, especially not like from a major channel. You're not getting that, and there isn't like great infrastructure to help figure this out. I think we're in this gray area, and I think honestly it does benefit like as rights holders, as musicians. I think it's great. That's the best case, is if you use my song in your video. Like I'm an independent artist, small independent artist here. And if you use my song in the Anthony Fantano video, like let's say Anthony Fantano for some reason uses the Am I the Asshole song. I want to be able to be one click away from being take that down. Being like, no, that money's mine.
Right.
The problem is if that's an unfair judgment. Like I say you're using my music, and you are using my music, but you're only using a very, like, it's not transforming the work in something that's supported. Then there's not a lot to be.
Because this is the edge of it. It's like, that's the whole point of fair use. Because if somebody's taking and using your work and just like taking your song and making it the background music for their cooking video, that's not fair use. They need to license that, right?
They should license.
So that's like the whole
unless for some reason I'm really interested in like letting you use my music, you're gonna get millions of views and I want that, then it should be fine. But like by default, you should get a license.
We've got an artist who's got who's going to license some music to like a friend with a small channel, and so like they came to us and they're like, we want to do this. If this is like just so like we help to facilitate that. But there's like a lot that goes into that, because it's like and kind of this is interesting because kind of where we've left it is this question of like, how are we going to get around YouTube? Because they don't have a process.
There isn't this process, and there's like a direct incentive not to have a process.
And what happens, is too is like we're in a better position because we're not going through like Symphonic or DistroKid, but DistroKid or Symphonic or whatever, they will strike on your behalf, which is typically a good thing.
Typically ideal.
Yeah, it's like so somebody is like taking your track and just making a music video for your song, like you can. And I'm sure a lot of people have seen this.
And there are services specifically to do that as well. So if you're like a major rights holder and you're like trying to find out where your music has been placed, there's Content ID, and there are other like private services that you can go through to have your content found.
And then we've done some stuff, and we've actually on occasion left some stuff up because we've just thought we've in discussion with the artist, and it's
talk about that a little bit. Like from an artist perspective, like why would you want to leave your music in somebody's video? Well,
there's times where a channel reached out and they were it's actually to an Apology Kink song, and they were just like they're like a specialty goth channel, and Apology Kink is a goth project, and so they asked if they could put it up, and I thought. I looked at the numbers and I was like, I'm going to get a lot more eyes on my project through them than they are with me. They've been really communicative. They were like, we will take it down anytime, but we want to do this. And so, we made the choice to keep it up, to let them have it. And I don't know, like a lot of things, I don't know that like the extra zero that they're putting on my views is really changing my career. Because like a lot of these views just poof go into the void.
Absolutely.
But again, like that's an argument for and against it, right? The argument for it is like, well, dude, you're getting views you wouldn't otherwise, and it's not
wouldn't have,
and you're not getting something taken away from you.
No.
And then the argument against it, of course, is like, well, it's not really helping you, so what? You should just keep control of your own content. I think both sides are valid. And there are times that we'll look at somebody and we'll go like, this is shady. Like this doesn't feel like because there's another thing in the I won't name names, but there's a pretty big channel in the industrial community that they do these mixtapes. And all they do is just scrape people's songs and resell them. It's really fucking weird.
There are a bunch of YouTube channels that do that exact same thing. Kind of like lo-fi or like super chill channels. Like you can find, I mean, it's the other side of Submit Hub, right? So like there is like us as artists submitting our music to a bunch of playlists, a bunch of channels. The other side is a bunch of channels who want content. And sometimes you get it through like submissions. Sometimes you get it through searching and being like, I like this. Let's put this in. And so I
like when you're like, I like this. Let's put this in.
Until I've had that moment.
That's what all gatekeepers sound like. I like this.
I like this. Let me take this.
Yes, naturally and quite.
Quite fabulous.
So I think, is there anything else you want to say about that? When we have an interesting segue, which I'll kind of put a note on this, which is that one of the big components of this, which we've kind of skirted around, is who can help you with this is music lawyers.
Music attorneys, music lawyers. Come on.
So we are going to talk about that next.
Stay with us because we'll get right into that.
Let's do that. So we just got done having a discussion about copyright strike and fair use.
Fair use is a little touch on Section 230 there too.
Nice. So these are obviously U.S. legal terms. And which leads us kind of interestingly to a discussion about lawyers.
And entertainment attorneys.
So I found this article by Todd Longwell for Variety titled "How Music Attorneys Help." You see how I have to pull?
What does it say?
How music attorneys help artists navigate confusing record contracts in a post-streaming revolution, Chappell Roan-Enlightened world.
You know how I love Chappell.
So one of the things is the article kind of takes a shot at Chappell, which
oh no, I can't imagine anyone doing that.
Because and I didn't even copy it because I was like, this is such a cheap shot at Chappell
yes.
that I was like, fuck you.
I have notoriously had like a beef with Chappell.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, no, I just okay. I first of all, big respect for Chappell.
Fan of the pod.
Chappell, don't hate me. Fans of Chappell, don't hate me.
Yeah.
But you know, I feel like specifically in her meteoric rise in the beginning, it was very clear that she like wasn't super committed to it. Like she kind of could like take it or leave it. She's like, I don't know if I want to be doing this. And I think that's a really, really challenging place to be because for most musicians, you want this your whole life.
Yeah.
But you don't know what it's going to look like when you're there.
Yeah.
And I think she's a really clear example of like, oh shit, this is what I wanted and it's happening to me right now.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily want all the things that come along with that.
Yeah.
And as like a manager, as like a developer, I look at that and I'm like, oh God, I'm so sorry for whoever invested in you. This is just such a shitty investment.
Yeah.
Like that, to me, it just gives me those like cringy feels of like, oh my God, okay, I just put all this energy and money and time into developing this artist, and this artist like, well, the music thing's cool.
I want to do this. It's interesting because I actually have another take on it, which is that it's kind of nice to see we're way off track, but that's okay. It is kind of nice to see an artist kind of push back against the way of things.
Oh, I loved what she said at the Grammys,
which is what we're going to reference because I think a lot of people feel like there's undue pressure on artists to toe the line, to keep quiet, because we gave you your shot, and everybody there's somebody there's not just somebody, there's 1,000 people waiting right behind you to take the shot that you've got. Yes. So don't make waves, don't kick against anybody, and so like I have had some respect for her to be like, I'm gonna like call some things like I see them. Yeah,
and I really thought what she said at the Grammys was beautiful.
Yeah, about healthcare. So what did she say?
She said that for so if you're a major label artist, you are not getting like healthcare. You're not getting the same employment package that you would get if you were working like a traditional W-2 job. So like healthcare isn't involved. Other forms of insurance aren't involved. So you're just kind of on your own to get those things. And as an artist, especially when you're starting out, you're probably not going to make enough money to go buy like your United Healthcare Blue Cross Blue Shield plan. And right now there is not like a supplementary solution within the music industry.
She said she called on the record labels to, quote, treat their artists as valuable employees with a livable wage and health insurance, unquote. Now, this is where a quote from the shot comes in from, I pulled it up because I was like, all right, we're
we got to get into it.
Daniel Schulman, a partner at Eisner, which is, I think, an attorney, quote, maybe if there was more transparency, a great, successful, articulate artist like Chappell Roan would have a better sense of those economics and how that relationship works, that they're not your employer. You're an independent contractor, and they don't provide healthcare to anybody other than their staff.
I see why you feel the way you do about that quote.
Yeah, I was like, maybe if you do anything talking about, oh, fuck you. Like,
but I think this brings us, and I know this is taking us off track a little bit, but I do feel like if you're like signed to a major label, at that point, you are more of like a W-2 employee.
Yeah. And I think that's what she was getting at, right?
Yeah. Like the amount of control, the amount of time you're committing, like if you tabulated your hours, you'd be way over 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
And therefore, you're no longer eligible to be a W-2 or to be a 1099.
If you can get into the union, if you can get into SAG-AFTRA, there's a threshold.
But we don't have a good union for musicians.
Right.
We don't have
one.
Yeah. So like, if you can get into the union as an actor, you could get into the union as an engineer, but you can't get into the union as a musician. You can as a songwriter. Yep. But you can't as like, hey, I'm an artist, or hey, so there's
and that's a major problem
to dive in there.
So being with things as they are, so Paul Schindler, another attorney at Greenberg Traurig, kind of outlines some things that you should be looking for in a contract.
Yes. Hit me with them.
Number one is we're doing 4 things again. We did 4 things with the last thing. We're doing 4 things again.
This one.
Number one is the term of the contract, which should be as short as possible.
Yes, I don't want to see perpetuity.
Right.
Like, I don't want to see my contract for any artist that I work with really over 5 years.
Yep.
Like, especially if you're in a development phase, you're a young artist, you're a new artist. 5 years is enough time for me to do whatever I'm going to do with you, and for you then to if you want, like, if a contract has options, hey, this is a 5-year contract with options. As in, when this contract expires, we have the option to agree together that we can continue to do more things after this. That's, I can see is okay, but if you're saying, hey, you're a new artist, let's say you have under 100,000 followers or subscribers, whatever you are, and I want to offer you a 10-year, 20-year deal. No.
That's rough.
That's crazy.
Or a lifetime deal.
No.
Next is what you're getting paid and how you're getting paid, whether it's on a royalty basis or net income, and if you're getting substantial ownership stake in the master.
Yes.
Who owns your masters, whether you're getting paid on royalties or net income.
So I have a hot take here, which is I do feel like artists should desire to own their masters. But I do think that there's an appropriate time in your career when you can, especially like with early parts of your catalog. If you're a super young artist, I don't think retaining your masters has to be your only thing. I think it should be at least a yellow flag. If not a red flag, it should at least be a yellow flag. But I think that if you're a new artist and you want to grow and you're looking at like a major label deal, you might not have the leverage to make that call. And that shouldn't necessarily be like, well, then I'm out. Like, that can't only be the deciding factor of your contracts. Would it be the best case scenario if every artist could own their masters? Yes, it would. But that is not always going to be the case.
So, and again, this is like, we're another thing that we're inching around is like all the different parts of a song, what even is a master, and we're not going to get into that much.
Not today, but if you want it, let us know and we'll have a whole day and talk about it.
We'll do it, because it's a huge topic.
It's a big topic.
After that, things to consider are the guarantees for advances. So just what are you going to get paid off in advance?
And the advance is how much money are you going to get up front?
And we're going to talk a little bit more about an advance and about recoupment. And then their final thing, money's being committed. I guess there's 5 things. I can't count. Money's being committed for marketing and promotion.
Bonus.
How much are they actually going to spend? So like, get that in writing.
Yes. Okay. So this is really, 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 really important when we're talking about contracts. So, okay, everyone's heard of the concept of like getting signed and getting shelved. The idea of getting signed and getting shelved is that, hey, I've worked my whole career. I can't wait to get signed by UMG. You get the contract, you sign it. Your first year is great. Second year, there's no money put into the development of your project. There's no follow-up calls. Hey, what's going on? Maybe a follow-up call. When is the next record going to be done? But there's no money getting put into marketing your projects. No money getting put into like advertising or into tour development. And at that point, you're just like, that's why we say shelved, because you're just sitting on the shelf of a bunch of projects that this label has, and they're not investing in you.
And because they've given you the advance, they own the stuff. So
you're there.
You've got a bunch of songs that, and this happens. I mean, I'm sure if you look into the biography of a lot of artists, you'll see this happens a lot. Just be like, well, they had some rad project, and it just got shelved, and I had to walk away from my life's work. It happens.
And a lot of major artists that you'll think of today spent time when they were shelved. So a lot of artists who we think of as like top tier today go back 10 years and they were with a different label who invested in them in the beginning and then kind of pushed off and said, well, this isn't working for us. We have these big cash cows at the top we're invested in, and they just stayed and waited.
I took a class a music class by a lawyer, and he said getting out of a bad deal is like a badge of honor in the music industry. Like, we all have done it. We've all been in bad deals.
There's a woman, her name is Wendy Day. And she does, I think her company is called Rap Coalition, and you can find her on YouTube, Wendy Day. But her whole career has been spent pulling people out of bad deals. And that's like her thing, and she works primarily with like hip hop artists, and she's worked with some, I can't like quote exactly who it is, but some huge names that you would know. And she pulled from the 90s all the way through the 2000s to now. She's pulled artists out of bad deals to get them into independent situations and help them get back on their feet.
Finally, whether they're giving you the maximum rate on your publishing. Again, this is like the difference. Masters and publishing are broadly the two sides of a song. What a song and how money gets provided to a song. So the publishing is the other one. And I will say, like, so it's like if the kind of the conventional wisdom is if they're paying up front, then they get some money on the back end from the publishing. If you're doing an indie deal, They probably don't have any right, and they're not paying you up
Probably
front.
don't have a stake in your publishing.
Then they shouldn't be asking you for publishing.
And just so that we really briefly touch on this, and like we said, we'll talk about this another day, but when you think about masters and publishing, think about your masters as your physical song, like the song, like the music, the hard copy, like, hey, where's the session
The recording,
file?
the recording of the song.
Where's that session file?
Yep.
The one where we recorded all this. That's your master.
Yep.
Really like the ability to recreate, reproduce.
Yep.
That's master. That's your master. And this is a really broad brush here, but when you think about publishing, think like the intellectual property of your song. Think like who wrote it. Think about like the intellectual property.
It's the sheet music.
Yes.
Essentially. Which is how it originated. So it's like, because it's like, I don't have the recording of the song, but here's the sheet music, so anybody could play this song now.
God, I'm failing to remember this, but there were all the Hal Leonard books. You know?
Yeah.
That's
publishing.
That's publishing.
So we're got a couple minutes. I think we should come back and talk about recoupment.
Yeah.
Because it's actually fucking insane.
Yes.
What we think recoupment is and what recoupment is not.
Yes.
When we think we're recouping in advance, they give you $100,000. What you think you're going to get back, how you think you get paid, how you think you pay back that $100,000 based on your work. Yeah. We're going to talk about that.
Right.
Okay.
And we're back.
We're talking about
labels, deals, contracts. What's the best one? What should you look out for? What should you keep your eyes out for?
And we talked about how we mentioned briefly in advance.
Yes.
And we talked about the other things that a label is going to do to spend to promote your music.
Yes.
And then what happens on the back side of that, on the reverse side of that, is they expect, the reason why they're willing to give you that money, advance you that money, is because they expect to recover that money.
To recuperate that money.
Which is called the recuperate.
Yes.
Or a recoupment. So I just did a little bit of research and wrote my own little thing.
Tell me what you got. Hit me with it.
Recoupment is not often what you think it is. So let's lay it out. I'm a label, which I happen to be. We don't do these kinds of deals, by the way.
Let's say you did.
But let's say so. We're gonna do like I'm a major label.
I'm an independent artist.
You're an artist. We're gonna sign you to a deal.
Oh my God, Augustus, you like my songs?
I love it. You're gonna see your name in lights, kids.
Oh wow! Like the whole deal. You're gonna make me famous.
Here's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
We're gonna give you $100,000 advance.
Oh, okay. Wow.
$100,000.
I think I'm gonna buy a car.
Yes, great. And we've got this is a typical major label deal.
I'm gonna put down a down payment on a Bentley.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't give a shit, really.
I might get a boat.
Yeah, sure. Because we're taking 10%. This is a label deal. We're taking 90% of your royalties.
That's a lot, but okay.
But you're thinking, here, look.
I'm still getting $100K.
Right.
I wouldn't have seen $100K any other time.
And you have to figure that what's going through your head right now is that
my songs are hits.
Your songs are hits. You've got all this major label.
I already have 23 million people listening to my songs. So like, I'm for sure going to make $100K back, guaranteed. So like, I literally have more streams than money you paid me. So like, you should have probably given me more advance.
Yeah. So that's what you're thinking right now, right? So we gave you $100,000. We used the label as the fake label, and let's say you sold a year later. You had a tour, and you did pretty nicely. You sold 20,000 vinyl. You sold 20,000 at copies at $20 a piece.
Okay.
So quick math, that's $2 million.
Okay. Yeah.
Now
I'm good.
You're thinking.
I'm good. I already paid back the label. Look at me. I recouped.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
You're thinking.
I'm rich now.
Now you're going to get.
I'm probably getting. So I'm going to pay you your $100K back.
Yep.
And that leaves me with
$100K.
No. I made $2 million. So clearly I'm going to get 10%. 1.9 million, baby. I'm out here.
10% of 2 million.
No, don't stop. Like, I'm killing it for the label. I'm the cash cow, right?
10% of the label is 10% of $2 million is $200,000. We gave you $100,000.
Yeah.
So now you think you're going to get another 100,000?
Oh, for sure, because I just made you 2 million.
And we've already, you're right.
Yeah,
so now you've recouped you to 100,000.
Of
That's
course,
what you think, right?
Yeah.
That's reasonable. But listen to how fucking major label math actually works.
Okay, hit me with this.
We're going to take our $100,000 that we're to recoup out of your 10%.
What?
Not out of our 90.
Oh no! So you're telling me that I really only made $200,000,
but we're taking the $100,000,
and you're taking the $100,000.
Yeah.
So I'm only making $100,000.
Well, listen.
No.
We also hired out music videos. We promoted you. We did a big Spotify.
Well, yeah, but like that's because you're my label. You know, we're friends. We're family. You know,
that comes out of your 10%, not our 90%.
But I still made $2 million.
So we spent $50,000 on promo. So now you're down to $50,000.
Wait, so you're telling me I made $2 million on my because I sold a bunch of vinyl for you guys.
You sold $2 million in which is great.
I should be charting on this.
You are charting.
I should
charting, and you sold $2 million.
But I should be seeing some of that money.
Yeah, well, you're going to see probably about, in our basic math here, you've got 50. You're down to 50,000, but you have an agent and a manager and a lawyer.
So no! So I lost money.
You're gonna come home. You might come home in our like really basic numbers here. You probably came home with about $30,000. You sold $2 million
and worked at McDonald's.
Yeah.
I got paid like I worked at McDonald's.
Now, Cameron, I'm here to tell you it's actually a little bit worse than that.
Oh no!
Because the calculations that we did, our little napkin math exercise here, these calculations were based on $20 retail sale.
Oh no!
But you're not making that money on resale.
You're not getting 100% of the retail cost.
You're getting wholesale.
Oh no!
So
that's only getting $2.
So that's 40%. You know?
No!
So you're making 10% of 40%, right? So like you sold $2 million and you generate and then. Here's what's amazing though.
Tell me.
Do you remember when you signed? You were so excited.
Yeah, because we're family. You know, I'm part of the Give Take family now.
Don't put that evil on me. Give Take does not do these kinds of. This is a major label deal. You signed a 360 deal.
Oh, that's right.
So you thought, well, I'll make it up. I'll make it up in T-shirt sales.
Yeah,
I'm gonna. I'm pretty articulate. I'm gonna
do some podcasts.
Yeah, I'm gonna write a book.
Oh,
I got some acting skills.
AI helped me write the book.
I'm gonna get a part in a TV show or some movies, right?
Well, I haven't yet, but it's coming.
Right.
My agent says the last tape I sent was really good.
You got a big liquor sponsorship, so you got a big banner
Ciroc,
behind
baby.
This gets worse and worse for you. So you got that big Ciroc contract.
I did. Woo! City parties, baby.
So you thought that you were going to make all that money off, but we take 90% of that too.
Oh shit!
So all that money that you thought you were going to make, when that song got into a commercial,
yep,
we took 90% of that.
No,
when you got the deal with the Budweiser, Ciroc, and the Budweiser banners behind you during your concert, we took 90% of that.
No,
when you finally landed that dream role,
finally when they let me play the Hulk,
we took 90% of that.
No, of my Hulk money.
Yeah,
Hulk smash.
That's my Hulk money, bro.
I'm just smashed.
So, what's the lesson we've learned here?
I guess it's time to call Wendy Day because I'm in a bad deal.
That was an incredible commercial. Recoupment is not what you think it is.
No.
It is a brutal, brutal business. The major label math
is crazy.
It's insane.
Yes.
Isn't that fucking insane? They'll make millions off of you, and then everything that they pay back, that they'll recover, it's like, I do own an indie record label. We do need to recover our costs.
Yes,
we don't do this kind of deal. But in a typical royalty deal, like in typical indie deal is 50-50.
Yep.
So in a small label deal, you're not doing all this kind of crazy math.
No, that's too much.
Typical small label deal, it's like, all right, we're going to take 50%, you're going to take 50%, and basically as soon as and that's actually off of our costs. So as soon as if we put $10,000 behind you, as soon as we recover that $10,000, it splits.
Yes.
We're not accruing more and more and more money off you. There's stories in the previous article, the Variety article, about, they mentioned Van Halen in the late 70s, in their early days, getting off the road, playing to like, thousands of people, making millions of dollars on their like early hits, and coming home and finding out that they were a couple million in debt to their label. It like
that's such a heartbreak.
Yeah, this major label math is fucking wild.
Well, let's flip it really quickly and talk a little bit about like, what percentage of major label artists do you think actually recoup?
Oh, it's like 5%.
It's so low.
Yeah.
So
I think I read it in one of these articles. It's like 5%.
It's like 5% or lower.
Yeah.
And if you're the label, let's just say you're the label, what are you doing? So say you got me, I maybe didn't recoup.
Yep.
Let's say I didn't recoup. Let's say you put in your 100K, or like, let's say you did 100K for me.
Yeah.
And I sold 1,000.
You just didn't do anything.
I only sold 1,000 of the vinyl.
So like you're in the black, but also, or in the red, but also we're in the red as the label.
Yeah.
So we're just like, this just was a bad record. Not bad record. We just didn't sell.
There's this other thing that comes in that's called cross collateralization. So say I also have you signed. Let's say I'm the label. You're like, we had one artist that didn't recoup.
Yep.
But we have Augustus.
Yep.
And you've been selling like hotcakes.
Right.
So for me as a label, if I'm say losing a bunch over here, I can take the revenue you're making and cross collateralize.
Yep.
Take that money that say is a loss over here and cover it with the big win that I'm having over here.
Yep. And this is why they make a lot of bets. This is investor behavior, right?
Yes.
This is what Silicon Valley investors do.
Yes, sir.
This is you expect to take losses.
Yes.
Because you know you're going to get big wins. And so
at some point.
And so and this is why labels will dazzle you with what seems like big contracts, and they'll take you out to dinner.
Yeah,
they will, before they even sign you, they'll pay for a photo shoot, and they'll put you in a bunch of rooms with a bunch of people, and they might even finance a record. They used to finance a sessions.
Yep.
They haven't even signed you yet, but they're just like, record us some demos just to see
how it's gonna go.
Those days are gone. But like, that's the kind of thing that they kind of do, right?
Yeah.
And they still will, like, they haven't signed you, they'll still like court you. They'll get you in a room with like
an A&R and a writer, a bunch of other writers, and kind of facilitate that.
Yeah.
But
they'll get you in dinner with some famous people, and you'll be like, damn, I fucking made it.
I'm doing it.
And
now.
then you'll sign this fucking deal.
and you'll lose all your shit.
You'll lose it. And then what can happen is you signed a 3-4 record deal. So now,
without terms, because it's signed. It's signed by record, so it's not signed by time. So you need to complete all 3 records before you're done, even if that takes you 10 years.
So you made $35,000. You made me $2 million.
You made McDonald's money.
You made McDonald's money, and now you want to go do it again.
Yeah,
we need you to do this 4 more times. And you're like, well, how?
Oh, you're going to give me more money,
and
right?
you don't even have fucking health insurance during all this.
You're going to give me another advance, though, right?
I might.
Probably not, though, if I didn't recuperate on the last one, and I don't have a lot of good things going on.
Call your lawyer, and we'll see what we can do. But this is the thing.
Hey, Wendy.
Yeah. So this really is the deal. Like, this really is the reality of major label deals.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't understand this. This is why you must have a lawyer.
Yes.
If you're signing any deal, but
so wait, I could just go out to like any lawyer, right? Like my dad's a lawyer. My dad's brother, well, he's a lawyer.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to look over my contract, right?
If he is a decent human being, then he will tell you, and a professional, then he'll tell you no. Because
you need an entertainment attorney.
Yeah.
And ideally a music specific entertainment. But yes.
Yeah.
So like, no, don't go to your uncle, don't go to your friend, don't go to the guy who's like, yeah, bro, I got a law firm, I'll take a look at No.
Don't go to ChatGPT.
No, please do not.
Get a fucking lawyer.
And there are a bunch, and they'll work with you.
Yes, they will.
And hire them by the hour. Do not try to have them on your retainer. If you're a young independent artist, you do not need an entertainment attorney on your retainer. Maybe in 5 years or 10 years when things are way bigger. But as an independent artist, hey, I just need quick review of this individual document. Might take 30 minutes, might take an hour. That's what I need, in and out.
And a good lawyer will make sure that you're in the right deal with them, with the lawyer. The other thing about a lawyer is it's a small industry.
Yeah.
They all know each other.
Yes, they do.
They have rapport with each other. Yeah. So
they're seeing each other in the courtroom.
Dude, they go to breakfast with each other.
Yep.
They hang out they go to parties with each other. Yep. They hang out. So there is something to be said about like when your lawyer knows, and maybe even at one time worked with professionally, or went to school with, or is like friends with the lawyer at the major label who's representing the major label, and so like they're able to have a very like professional level negotiation on your behalf.
Yes,
that you just cannot do.
And understand terms you might not understand. Like to interpret a contract, especially now, there's so much proprietary terminology that's specific to this.
Right.
Like, and you can learn it.
Case
and
law.
I think, I think you should, as an independent artist, you should learn as much as you can so you can be versed, but also understand like things you need to get that work out to someone who does that professionally.
The final thing I'll say about lawyers is music lawyers are actually kind of like a secret little weapon in the music industry.
Yes, they are.
Because they know everybody and they talk. Yeah. So they know when so-and-so got dropped. Well, so-and-so is looking for an artist just like that. Oh, this person just signed this songwriter just signed this publishing deal. Well, this artist is looking for songs, so we can put them together. They are like an incredible lubricant of the music industry. And a lot of people don't know that.
Doctors and Uber drivers. They all hear everything. Hear what's going on. I heard about this.
So having a good lawyer who you trust and you have some rapport with and a relationship with can be one of the most important things for your career. And when you look at the stories of big artists, you'll find this over and over and over again, that it was a lawyer who either formally or just sort of informally opened a door for them.
Yes.
These motherfuckers know everyone.
They do.
Shout out to the lawyers in the music industry.
Shout out to the entertainment lawyers and music attorneys.
Yeah. Cameron.
Yes.
The music industry is splitting in two.
No.
Here's why songwriters are reinventing their role.
Tell me about it.
By Tatiana Cirisano of MIDiA Research. I'll back up and say MIDiA Research is a great, I think we've profiled them before. They do a lot of really cool music industry research, polling. They're basically, I'll back up and kind of paraphrase. They have this idea that they call it the bifurcation of the music industry.
Okay.
They're
splitting it into.
Yeah, they're basically saying that the old guard, the old industry is streaming.
Yeah.
And the new industry is going to be kind of self-directed, but on social media platforms. So whereas it's kind of funny because 10 years ago, 15 years ago, the old guard was CDs and the radio, and the new guard was streaming.
Yep.
Now the majors have caught up with streaming. So now the old guard is streaming, and the new energy and the new
social media, direct to fan.
Yeah. So what we kind of used to call indie, the new indie is on. That's my interpretation of. They don't say it quite like that, but that's how I would.
I mean, I think that makes sense. Like at this point, we're so closely tied into like the TikTokification of the music industry and like the direct sales to fans. I think that's the new music industry.
The tech industry has done what they set out to do, which is kind of infiltrate it. And so, like the tech industry has really stripped. Once again, we're getting sidetracked, but the tech industry has stripped the power away from the record labels.
Yeah. Which maybe needed to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe you got one evil for another evil.
Yeah, I'd like to take the power back for ourselves, which is kind of getting into what this article is about. So this is specifically about songwriters.
Okay.
So just to clarify, these are people who aren't artists.
Yes.
Who aren't engineers, who aren't producers, although many people have a lot of different skills.
Writing and producing usually.
But specifically, these are songwriters.
Yes, top liners, songwriters, someone who's not involved in, you're not the artist, you're not performing, you're just writing the music.
One of the things about songwriters, not just. One of the things about songwriters, for background, is that they get paid way differently.
Yes,
they don't get. Remember, we talked about master and pub. Songwriters don't get any masters.
No, they only get pub.
Typically. Although we are going to touch on that. Songwriters only get pub, and sheet music is not selling like it used to.
One of the reasons I think that at least used to make sense is because as a writer you weren't recording. You weren't a part of that like recording process, or like like tracking process where generally that's where your master is going to come from. That's where the ownership of the master is.
You wrote a song and gave it to an artist.
Yep.
You know, Nashville still really operates this way. There's writers and there's artists.
Yeah, and points.
So what is a point? Because we're going to come back to that.
A point is like how much credit do you have on the back end of the song? Usually,
percentage point.
Yeah, exactly. How much percentage do you own for? Usually, you get points if you didn't get paid up front. So if you're not taking like a session rate, like a day rate, you're probably taking points on the back end. And I'm looking at this mostly as a producer, as an engineer. Okay, I'm going to do this session for free, but I'm going to get, say, 3 points on the back end. That means I get 30%, or that means I get, that's a lot. That's 3%. Very, very high. You get 3%, you get 5%, like whatever it is, you're getting points on the back end so that when the song goes out, when it gets released, if it pops off, then you're getting paid royalties.
A growing number of songwriters are realizing that they will never earn meaningful income from streaming, nor is it a particularly fruitful place to build and connect with fans.
Fair.
Because of course streaming pays masters and not pub.
Yes, and it's impersonal.
And they now have any fucking money anyway. So and nobody's making money off streaming except the tech
except for Spotify.
But we've touched on that a lot.
Really?
It is now clear that similar dynamics are playing out amongst songwriters. In spring 2025, MIDiA embarked on a global survey of close to 800 songwriters alongside detailed interviews with several respondents. The results, published on July 10th, 2025, paint a picture of reinvention. Rather than struggling to make ends meet in a system that does not serve them, a new class of songwriters are reinventing their role entirely, and the ripple effects on the wider music industry are just beginning. Streaming economics are harsh on all creators, as we've discussed, but songwriters feel the impact double. Even among full-time professional songwriters in our survey, the average annual income from songwriting was, you ready? $25,400.
That's very embarrassing.
That's Arby's money.
Yeah, that's right.
Hardly enough to sustain oneself without supplemental income. And these are people who are like writing the songs that you hear on the radio.
Yes.
The song of your lifetime.
Your favorite song.
Jams of the summer. Our study revealed several paths songwriters are taking. Some of the most common were building social media brands for industry networking and to nurture fan bases of their own. They mentioned Bonnie McKee, who who was at Pop Out.
Yep, a good literal good friend of our podcast.
Yeah. Actual friend of the pod.
Yes.
Bonnie McKee, who side note, she came up as a songwriter. She was an artist, and then she got big writing for Katy Perry.
Yep.
And now she's out on her own. Bailey Flores is another example. I'm not sure who that is. Selling their skills, another thing. Selling their skills as works for hire on Creator Marketplace, such as SoundBetter, Fiverr.
Yep.
Lander has one.
Yep.
And SoundCloud actually has one.
Do they really like hire a prototype feature?
Yeah, they're just we're gonna get to that.
Cool.
Taking on more roles such as performing, playing instruments, and producing.
Yep.
I think they say like if you're a songwriter and you can even just cut demos, you're like a step ahead.
Oh yeah, because one of the direct like benefits, if you are a songwriter, you can cut your own demo. You can have a stake in the master.
In the
because
production.
Because you wrote something.
Yeah.
You not just like you wrote something, but you played a physical part and probably recorded that physical part. If that part goes on to the final master of the song, then you have more ground to stand on that you're involved in the project.
Launching music adjacent side hustles like podcasts about mental health in the music industry.
Yes.
A cafe for creatives to gather at, or even a songwriting notebook company. So somebody is selling songwriting products. Final thing we'll say about the quotes from this: some social and streaming platforms are already adjusting to serve this modern songwriter. So this is what we're getting into. I didn't know this. YouTube hosts songwriting camps and has long coached songwriters to use channels as living, breathing resumes.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
On July 17th, TikTok launched a raft of new songwriter features in beta, including the ability to register for a songwriter profile.
Yes.
And in March, SoundCloud partnered with Fiverr to bring its music skills marketplace on platform. So
skills.
So Fiverr has connected with SoundCloud. SoundCloud didn't launch that.
Okay, yeah.
So this is that, and this kind of points to that bifurcation that they're talking about, where it's like the tech industry is serving songwriters in a way that the traditional
music industry can't.
It isn't.
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything about that? I got one more little piece about that.
I mean, I think it's a really interesting space to be in. I think as a writer, you really want to diversify your areas. Like if you can, and I know this doesn't really talk about sync, doesn't really talk about other places for your songs to live. But if you are writing, finding any form of alternative like income, whether that's like we talked about building a podcast, whether it's creating a physical product, whether that's like songwriting, I'm teaching songwriting classes, or whether it's like a camp, like we talked about as well. Anything that you can do to kind of like build out your revenue streams is definitely going to support you. Because
early on we talked about this. We said I think maybe episode 3 or episode 4. Everybody in the music industry has a day job.
Yes, absolutely.
Like just you have to find ways to it sucks, but you have to find ways to just supplement that income.
Yes.
And so songwriters are kind of finding themselves in the position that artists had previously found themselves in. Producers have to do this themselves too. There is one other kind of effort that's happening. We talked about points earlier.
Yep.
So there is this push that's happening among songwriters to ask for points on the master.
Yeah.
This is kind of a new thing. Justin Tranter, who is a major songwriter, huge songwriter,
incredible writer.
They have a label. Will be the first to give master points to songwriter, and Justin is like a renowned activist. Does a lot of things for a lot of people. Shout out Justin Tranter
for real,
real friend of the pod. This is from an article on Music Connection. Facet Records, founded and led by renowned songwriter, producer, and activist Justin Tranter, has announced that it will be the first record label to give songwriters master points as the standard, marking an industry quaking move. The announcement, that's such an industry quaking. That's good writing. MusicConnection.com.
I like that.
I see you.
You've seen.
The announcement will see Facet redistributing 3 points out of the company's own share on every master for songwriters who aren't the artists or producers. So that not only are they making this happen, but they're giving it out of their own stake, which is really cool. With the rise of digital streaming in recent years, songwriters have been left out of the conversation, while record labels and big tech companies, as well as artists and producers, have been able to adapt. Unless contributing to a radio hit, songwriters across the board have struggled to garner equitable pay in recent years. Facet's unprecedented initiative is the first step in giving songwriters a seat at the table when it comes to streaming royalties in the modern era, and an overdue shakeup that intends to inspire similar action across the industry. And I know there are some... shout out Jesse Thomas, Jesse and Friends.
Yes.
Jesse is somebody else who's doing a lot of cool stuff in LA, and really also has been pushing for this as well.
Yeah.
So there's some things that are happening. This, to me, the other connection that this has is we're hearing about songwriters changing what their role is. Last week, or was it 2 weeks ago, we talked about how basically like the record label is dead, and like the new indie record label is instead kind of providing artist services and label services.
Yes.
Like we're seeing this across the whole industry. This is something that I'm like through this work we're doing here on the pod has really become apparent to me. Is just like, we all know the industry's changing, but like truly one of the things that this drives home for me is again and again and again, it's like the old rules are melting.
Oh yeah. I think anything before the year 2000 is just not relevant for the modern music industry. Yeah. And even anything
like 2012.
Yeah. I was gonna say anything before then too. Like, I think it's really, really tough because like we have had these major shifts in the music industry. Like in the 2000s, we shifted from CDs to pirating and streaming and MP3s. And then in the 2010s, at the end of that time, we switched from MP3s to streaming. And now we're kind of realizing, at least now, that streaming isn't what we thought it was. It isn't going to be a replacement. I think if we were to have this conversation in 2012, we'd be like, yeah, we just got to figure out how to get the monetization we got from CDs out of streaming, and we're getting there. We're making our way.
And we would have said the argument was, well, think of the exposure that the streaming is going to give you. Now we all kind of see that, like, I mean, I guess like fucking Warhol was right. Like, we're all famous for 15 minutes, and so it doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. Like, there's no...
I mean, even the idea of being viral in that time period, like, you think of being viral in 2012 versus being viral now. It's so
forget it.
It doesn't mean the same thing. Like it genuinely doesn't mean the same thing. And I think this is a little sidetracked, but I think it's because we all have these pods, right? Like everybody's in their own silo, and so you might be huge in one tiny silo, but that's just not enough to get you to be fully stable off the ground.
How often has someone been like, hey, you haven't seen the bubbly monkey meme? And you're like,
it's huge. What do you mean?
What do you mean you haven't seen it?
That's so big.
We have been passing that around for years. And you find out that there's this huge bubbly monkey meme that's out there
that you missed.
And it's massive. There's like subreddits devoted to it. And then, it's like, it's just like, it had a cameo in like a children's television show. Yep. It was huge. And you just didn't know how
you didn't see it.
That's happened
all the
time.
Yeah. Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just that bubble thing is super true.
It's super real. And I think, now, if you can leverage things that are, like we said, and maybe we harp on this too much, but if you can go direct to fans, sell something, sell something, create a product. Well, I think that's a great thing. So like songwriting books. Yeah. We did a song camp like a year ago, and we gave out songbooks, and they were super popular. We just made custom writing books, and people loved that. Yeah. People loved the books. So if you can make a physical product to sell, or like we talk a ton about alternative forms of like CD is vinyl, anything that you can productize your music to get it out, that's going to help you supplement that income.
Zines we've talked about.
Oh, yes.
Like you could put your stuff out on zines. There's just like a lot of different places. This is what we're finding is that like everything is shifting. The power is going to tech. The power is coming out of the labels' hands. So the labels are going to fight and do what they do. Tech is going to fight and do what they do. And as always, those seismic shifts are going to cause pennies from heaven to drop. And like, and in an ideal world, we can
have a bucket.
Yep.
To pick up some of those pennies, catch some of them,
and come together as communities and build the next world.
Well, I really hope it's pennies and not 0.005 cents coming down from the sky.
Pennies. Yeah. Pennies. Yeah. Well said. So that's it for this episode.
That is. This was a shorter episode.
Yeah.
There were some issues in this going on, so bear with us as we kind of smooth things out into the future.
As always, find us on Instagram,
YouTube.
We keep promising to be on TikTok. We're about to catch up, so we have to get on.
We are there, so like there might not be any content, but we are there.
we keep promising. I think we're really close in real time right now to us needing to actually commit to fucking TikTok.
To being on TikTok.
We are on Instagram, we are on TikTok, and of course we're on YouTube. As always, follow us, like us, share this with your friends.
Yes.
If this is working for you, like really like sharing this out
that helps so much. If you can share it with one person, that helps us so much. Put a like on the video, subscribe if you're not, and we'll see you again in the next one.